He has Bill's story.
Okay, I'll stay.
Okay, I'll stay.
We want our gifts back.
No, I have to be truthful. Darcy told me that I should retire. She said that I should go now while I was still mentally alert and haven't started forgetting things yet. She's probably right. Darcy told me I should retire. She said I should go now while I was mentally alert. First of all, I know you all can appreciate the tremendous family that I have here. The only one that hasn't gotten up to speak is my favorite daughter-in-law, Rebecca. And she and Mark have just added wonderfully to our family with their 2 children and Sarah's child, McKenna. Darcy mentioned our 3 grandchildren earlier. I'm really very, very pleased to have all of you here. Sarah and Mark, I can't begin to tell you my appreciation for your comments. They have written them, they've been working on them today, they've compared notes with each other, so thank you both very, very much. You know I love you very much. A couple of people have mentioned Kathy. Kathy just retired in June of last year. She had worked 25 years in cancer care at Orange Regional Medical Center. She touched on many, many families' lives in this community. We had a retirement dinner for her. No less sincere than this one, a little smaller, but it was a wonderful experience. And I just would like to ask all of you to just give me the pleasure of your thanking her for her work in our community as well. Darcy thanked the folks who put this dinner together, and I'm very grateful to all of you too. I do appreciate it very much. I don't do things like this well, but I do appreciate the very extra efforts, and it's terrific. I'm really just overwhelmed about this event. I can't tell you how overwhelmed I really feel. Rebecca came in and asked me if there was another event going on here tonight, and I said, no, Rebecca, this is my retirement. But I got to thinking, and I'm going to say this very sincerely to all of you, but very bluntly, frankly. We sent the save the date out for this event in early December. So you all had plenty of advance notice in order to have enough time to schedule your conflicts. And you did not schedule your conflicts, which either means you have no life at all, or you want to be here. And I'm going to take the latter and thank you because you're wanting to be here. I'm very grateful for that. Before we go too much further, I want to give special comments to people in the back row of tables around the room. You're all my favorites. The reason you're at the back table is because it puts you closer to the door and the bar and the restaurant. So, thank you for sitting at the back tables in the room. I've been in this event, in this venue many times. I've been in the back rows on many occasions. I know that you feel a little disconnected from the event because you're that far away, but you are my favorites. So. Let me just see where. Oh, I also need to thank Michael Spiegel, who is the proprietor here at the Fountains, for this wonderful banquet. He's I don't know if Michael's here, he's not out here now, but he's a good friend and a fine restaurateur. The only thing that I think we could possibly do to have topped this venue and this banquet tonight is if it was held at my son Mark's Pizza Restaurant in Clifton Park. That would be the restaurant on the corner of Grooms Road on the web, www.uppercrustmenu.com. And we do have business cards for all. So keep that in mind before you leave. To speak to all of you, I was talking with my good friend, Commissioner Bransky, this week when he came to our office, and he made reference to his retirement party and the fear that he had about forgetting or not naming everyone he wanted to name, forgetting to name some people, because there are just so many people to thank and so many people to acknowledge for their work. We are running way over time, and I have already decided to take a shorter cut to that, and I hope with your indulgence you'll allow me to do that. I'd love to be able to name every one of you individually and talk about our relationships. It really just isn't practical, and I hope you'll understand I'm not doing that.
Thank you.
But, all right, Jimmy, come on up there. I truly consider all of you to be my friends as well as my colleagues. The groups of you who are here tonight that I really believe I have very special relationships with, and I acknowledge all of your good work. Let me just try to say this in this way. Our local and state elected officials, thank you very much for being here. Those of you who work in our partner state agencies, the Office of Mental Health, the Office of Persons with Developmental Disabilities, and the Office of Alcoholism and Substance Abuse Services. Our community partner hospitals and agencies, Orange Ulster BOCES and our school districts, law enforcement, fire, and EMS professionals, the county directors who are my colleagues in the region and the state, and staff of our state association, the Conference of Local Mental Hygiene Directors, the families and services recipients who are here. You are our focus daily, our primary focus of attention daily in Orange County. Our Orange County Department of Mental Health retirees who have remained so involved and supportive of each other and all of us who are still on the job. It's terrific to see almost 2 full tables of you here tonight. I want to make special recognition, special mention that Art Gleckler is here. He was our deputy commissioner for many, many years, and a very big part of the early part of my career as commissioner. And Art, I don't know where you are, Art, but where is he? There he is. Thank you. The community representatives who are here, board members from our local not-for-profits, volunteers and advocates, my next-door neighbors, and our good friends from the community in Goshen who are sitting with us at our table. I wish I could just kind of smush all of you together and tell you that what you do every day makes Orange County the best county in New York State. I've gotten lots of kudos here tonight. I'm very grateful for that. But all of that attention really is reflected off me back to all of you for your dedication, your professionalism, your communication and collaboration with each other, your genuine caring spirits, your responsiveness when asked for service, and the extra efforts that you provide whenever they're necessary. I'm very, very grateful for what you do collectively in our county. I'm very glad to have been a part of it. People talk about my leadership. I could try to do what I do, but if I didn't have a receptive audience, we'd be fighting about things rather than collaborating about things, and I recognize that. And so my job is a lot easier because you're all out there willing to be partners with us in the way we deliver services. I can't stop, though, and I can't make my retirement speech without mentioning 2 people individually, because I can't even think of ending all of this without taking one more very public opportunity to tell them how much I've appreciated them and how much I will miss them starting Monday morning. Let me just tell you first the story that I promised to tell you because it's relevant here, and that's the story about the roses. We had a staff member in our department who had come to us from the finance department. I won't embarrass her with using her last name, but her first name was Lisa, and she came and worked with us for a number of years. A number of months. And then we had a civil service issue, and the person who was in that job was coming back, and Lisa had to go back to her position in finance. So I thought that it would be just very kind of me and nice of me as a nice memento to go and say goodbye to her on her last day, and I went down to the floral shop in Goshen, and I picked up a red rose, and I had it wrapped up in a single wrapper, and I brought it up to her, and I said, Lisa, I just want to say thank you for spending your time with us. I'm sorry it just didn't work out this way, but we're very glad you can go back to finance, and we benefit from your work, and I said all the right things, and she said thank you, and she left. And I went back to my office, and Betsy said, Chris, what'd you do with that red rose? And I said, well, I gave it to Lisa before she left. And Betsy said, you can't give her a red rose. And I said, why not? And Betsy said, because red roses are a symbol for love. There's other colors of roses, yellows for this, pinks for this, right? But she said, you can't give one of our employees a red rose. It's a symbol for love. And I said, well, I guess I learned something, doing that. On the flip side, she's called me twice a week, so it's... but that's the story about the roses. So the first person I want to give one of my red roses to tonight is Miss Betsy Raw. Art and I went to Betsy and asked her to come to Goshen to be our administrative assistant. There was a civil service process we had to go through and negotiate, but Betsy didn't apply for this job. We went and asked her to be our administrative assistant. And I'm going to say you've been here about 16 years with us, with me? Yeah. I could not do what I do every day without Betsy as my administrative assistant. As you know, with the staff reductions across all of our agencies in the county government, we've done with less support staff than ever before, and Betsy carries the ball for many of our staff now. She's not just assigned to me anymore. She now covers a lot of our staff. And she's just a wonderful asset, and I could not do the job that I have, and our department would not run the way that it runs without Betsy being there doing what she does. And many, many of you in this room have regular contact with Betsy, and you know the kind of asset she is as our representative to you, and the kind of asset she is in our county as a whole to keep things rolling. Her predecessor in our office was Mary Clancy, who's sitting here also, who served many, many years back to my position. When I came to the Department of Mental Health 30 years ago, my commissioner was a fellow named Jack Melville, and I learned a lot from Jack Melville. I feel as if I have been carrying the ball forward that Jack handed off to me when he retired, and there was actually a commissioner in between us, but I learned a lot from working with Jack, and Mary is one of our alumni. She's actively involved in our alumni group, as is everybody at that table. I'm not going to mention all of your names, but Mary was our administrative assistant, got us started, actually worked with me for the first 4 or 5 years I was commissioner, and I'm very grateful. So, Betsy, thank you, and I do love you, and I want you to have my red rose. It will be no surprise to you that the other person that I'm going to give a red rose to is Commissioner Miller. This event is as much her debutante ball as it is my retirement party. Darcy has picked up where Art left off. She has taken the role of Deputy Commissioner to the new heights that we expected her to. She has served our department and our community tremendously well. She brings tremendous asset to the community, to our county, to services systems, to our department as a whole. There could be no better person for the county executive to name as acting commissioner in my mind on the day I retired, and I'm very grateful for that, for his willingness to do that, and for Jimmy's support in making it happen. I don't know what I'll do when I wake up Monday morning and don't have to go to work and be across the hall from Darcy and share information, resources, problems. She's been my inspiration. She's been the person that I've depended on, my confidant, and I lead. The best gift I can give all of you, and thanks for the gifts you've given me, but the best gift I give all of you is this kind of leadership in the department going forward. And Darcy, I do love you. Here's your red rose. is to say thank you to all of you once again, kind of end where I started by saying thank you for what you do every day. Thank you for being here to share this night with me. Thank you for giving my family, particularly Sarah and Mark. It is their picture, by the way, on the front of the program holding the Bible for my swearing in as commissioner, when they were younger. But I leave all of you with one wish that I've shared with many people in different forums over the last couple of months. But my wish for all of you as I retire is that when you get to the point in your lives where you're making a significant change in your job or in your career or you're retiring, that you can look back on the experience you've had and that you will have enjoyed your work as much as I've enjoyed mine. That is my wish for you. I'm very sincere in offering it. I always say it is not, some days are more frustrating than others for sure, but in the big picture, this has been a wonderful run. I have enjoyed it tremendously. Johnny Carson on his last day, on his last show on TV, the night that he retired, said if I could, I would do it all over again, and I know now what he meant. So thank you all very much. Good night. Have a great day.